This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
Did you guys date?
Yes.
How long did you date?
Off and on about 2 years.
Off and on for 2 years?
Yeah.
According to you, he was just a friend. You didn't date.
Exactly.
You never dated at all. Like, it's kind of like, you know, if you're dating.
We went on dates, but
Okay.
he was not my boyfriend and I was not his woman.
Okay. Were you intimate?
Somewhat.
Okay. Somewhat.
This is the plaintiff, Michael Johnson. He says the defendant was a friend of his, and they once dated. When they broke up, he received a bill from Victoria's Secret. The girl opened an account in his name, bought sexy outfits, which she probably used with someone else, and now he's supposed to pay? Not here, not now. He's suing his ex for the $263 she racked up in provocative lingerie sales. This is the defendant, Dawn Oliver. She says the plaintiff was a nice enough guy, but he had creepy issues and couldn't get it through his head he wasn't her boyfriend. One day she opened her mailbox and found a Victoria's Secret card with her name on it, so she used the card once. Now, he wants her to pay him back for a gift? Come on. She's accused of dressing nice for someone else. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $375 to repair broken car windows.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigant 10 minutes sworn, Your
What
Honor.
is that? It's like the white elephant in the room. What is that there? What's that? What's that?
It's a big flower.
It's a big flower. Okay, I can wait. All right, Michael Johnson, you are suing your former friend, Dawn Oliver, for $263 for a Victoria's Secret bill that, according to you, she secretly opened up in your name, and you want to be repaid. Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, I got the bill in the mail. I didn't get the bill in the mail. I did a credit report, and I saw a Victoria's Secret on it. And I had nothing to do.
On your credit report as having been unpaid.
Yes.
All right.
And I asked her about it, and she said, well,
Why'd you ask her?
That's the only person I knew.
Did you guys date?
Yes.
How long did you date?
Off and on about 2 years.
Off and on for 2 years?
Yeah.
According to you, he was just a friend. You didn't date.
Exactly.
You never dated at all. Like, it's kind of like, you know, if you're dating.
We went on dates, but
Okay.
he was not my boyfriend and I was not his woman.
Okay. Were you intimate?
Somewhat.
Okay. Somewhat.
Do you want to go further?
No, I don't think so. But, okay, and is it your impression he wanted more?
Yes.
Would you tell him we're not exclusive?
At the beginning, when we met, I was single, he was single. So we gave it a try, you know, going out on dates. And I assumed I guess he assumed from date one, I was his girlfriend. I was not his girlfriend. He's a very nice person, but he's psychotic.
What? How is he psychotic?
He's a stalker.
How is he a stalker?
He stalks me. We have a convenience store that's popular near my home, and he would go by in the morning, get coffee, leave it on my steps, call me on the phone and say, oh, I just wanted to let you know your coffee downstairs at the front door.
Some people might find that romantic, not stalkish.
So I
You
said,
did not,
okay.
though. It was unwelcome.
It was creepy.
Okay, you thought it was okay.
Yeah.
No, that's. I mean, you have a. You know, it's your world. You can
Right.
decide whether you like it or not. I would, if I liked a guy, I would find it incredibly romantic. If I didn't like a guy, I'd find it creepy.
Right.
Right. So, what about this Victoria's Secret bill? What's this about?
It was during one of our times that we went out, and he had said to me, "What type of underwear do you like? What type? Everything with him."
Was he seeing it? I mean, was he gonna see the underwear that you were gonna?
I guess he assumed.
Okay.
So I told him Victoria's Secret. That's the only type that I wear. So he said, okay. He said, well, I'm going to get this Victoria's Secret card, and I want you to wear Victoria's Secret for me. I said, okay. So
Wait. Okay. Is
That's
a
what I
weird.
said.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
and okay does
Right.
not blend. What do you mean?
That's what I said. Okay. I explained to him that he was a friend of mine. The card came in the mail right before Valentine's Day of 2012. December of 2011, he bought me a ring.
A ring?
Yes.
An engagement ring?
No,
Okay.
the ring was a gift. My birthday is in December.
A
Christmas-
diamond ring
Yes.
that looks like an engagement ring.
It didn't look like an engagement ring to me, but it was a pretty diamond ring.
Okay.
So we went to the jewelry store. He asked me, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, a piece of jewelry. He said, okay. I said, what do you want? He said, it really doesn't matter. I said, okay. He's a very nice
Wait,
person.
you're talking about your birthday? You asked him
He's
what does he
speaking of
want?
Christmas/birthday.
Okay.
Because my birthday is in December. It's very near Christmas.
All right.
So he goes to the mall. He gets clothes. He picks me out a ring. Gets the ring. In between that time, he was still going through his craziness. If I don't pick up the phone or if I don't spend enough time with him, he wants his gifts back, or I must be seeing somebody else, or what's going on with you? Just crazy. I'm like, calm yourself down. So and
How
then,
often would you see him?
First when we met 2010, like every day, because I had nobody and he had nobody. But
Okay.
like I said, immediately I could see something was going on. After I started seeing the behavior, it started slowing down twice a week.
Okay.
Once a week. I
And
would
towards
call,
the end, how often were you seeing him? Twice a week?
Once a week, every other week, twice a month.
Okay. Did you pick the ring out when you were seeing him once a week or twice
we
a
was
month?
Still seeing each other.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess he thought, and I guess the kind of person Michael is, he think because he give you a gift, you're his girlfriend.
Right.
If he take you to dinner, you're
When'd you
supposed to
figure
have
that
sex
out?
with him. I figured that out at the beginning.
So why'd you keep taking his gifts? Because you're greedy?
I gave him gifts too.
No, I understand, but sometimes in life you don't take things just because they're offered to you. Sometimes you might say, "This guy wants something I cannot provide for him," and you spare him another year of torture.
Well,
That's not what you did, though.
No,
No, you took the diamond,
because-
and then you guys were in litigation over the diamond, right?
That's correct.
What happened with that case?
I decided to settle and pay for the ring.
Well, how are you settling? That just means you get completely stuck with it.
That's what I did.
Oh, okay. So, but this you don't want to get stuck with because
No.
according to you, you never gave her a Victoria's Secret card?
No,
She's making that up.
that's correct.
So how'd she do it?
I have no idea.
Well, but there has to be a way. Maybe you did it. Maybe you got a Victoria's Secret card on the internet in your incessant efforts to try to get her to see things your way. What is that big old thing there? What is that?
This was like the last draw of our friendship. Valentine's Day of 2012. I had stopped seeing him, stopped taking his calls and everything because that's what happened. I got to the point, I said, enough is enough. I can't go to dinner with Mike anymore. I can't go to lunch with him because every time we go to lunch and I get out, he kind of looking at me like, okay, what's up? I'm feeling like, my God. So I said, that's it. I stopped seeing him for maybe about a month, didn't take his calls or anything. He called, I didn't call him at all. So my daughter, she's an adult, she was coming over one day and she had this big flower and some more flowers, real natural flowers. And then she had a card. I said, where you get that big dumb thing from? Because I was sitting in the living room.
Why do you have to call it dumb?
Well, that's what I said. So she said,
Man,
Mr.
listen, you deserve better. She is
said-
a cold woman.
No, I'm not.
She is. No, you are. And honest to God, you're like a teddy bear. And you really need to move it on long down the road to a woman who thinks that you bringing her coffee and calling her and saying, coffee's
This
downstairs.
man has had three
Stop
wives.
talking. Nobody's asking you. Thinks is romantic as opposed to creepy and stalkerish. Because I don't mind that she think that. I just mind that she keep dating you for 2 years, which she clearly was doing because there was something in it for her. And you need to be less naive, all right, and realize that and take it on down the road. All right, now, so that horrible thing that somebody lovingly brought you, go ahead, tell me
I
about
didn't say it was horrible. I said it was a big dumb thing.
Oh, you're right. That's so much more demeaning. Go on.
So she said, Mr. Mike left it outside. So I said, okay, so it was Valentine's Day. So she says, I said, where's he at? So I went to the door. She said, he left. And she said, I said, why don't you give it to my mom on your own? And he said, no, I got to go. So I said, okay. So I called him. I said, hey, thanks for the gift. And he was like, okay.
What was the gift? That?
Yes, it was the flower and some flowers and a card. So I said, thanks for the gift. And he said, yeah. So I said, what you doing this evening? And he said, nothing. What you doing? I said, nothing. He said, you want to go to dinner? I said, yeah, I don't mind if you don't make more out of it. He said, no, just go to dinner. So I said, okay. So that's when the Victoria's Secret card came in. Okay, the Victoria's Secret card came in the mail. I had it about a month.
Wait, when did it come in the mail?
About a month previous from Valentine's Day.
Did you know it was from him? It was in his name?
Well, it was in my name and his name. It was 2 cards in there.
Okay.
He ordered the card. Whatever way he done it, he ordered the card. Mike knew just as much information on me as I knew about him. We went on a cruise together. We did a lot of stuff together.
Okay.
And I helped pay for that. So it's not like I was take. He did give out more gifts, I'm not gonna lie, but I gave out nice gifts too. I also helped him with a lot of things I helped him with. And he tried to make it seem like he's a victim here. His paperwork, things, organized stuff, his hygiene. He looked good today, and I'm so proud of him. But his whole daily attire is Army clothes. He wears Army clothes, the personal hygiene. That's what the problem was. But I kept him along because I said he's a nice person. I would say to him, okay, well, you got to take a shower. I went out and I bought all kinds of nice things for him so he can bathe in them and keep himself nice and clean. I don't care how much they do for
Okay. Tell me about the Victoria's Secret card.
So the Victoria's Secret card came about a month previous, about in January. So when he left these gifts, I said, let me get Mike something since we're going to dinner tonight. I went to Victoria's Secret. I got some stuff. I went to Macy's.
What'd you get?
I got him a Marc Jacobs watch. It was $300 and something. So I gave gifts too.
Okay.
We went out. We went to dinner.
Wait. What'd you get with the Victoria's Secret card?
Oh, perfume. Not perfume, but body splash. Bras. Got him some smell goods. And that was it.
Okay.
And then we went out to dinner. Dinner was nice. It really was. But he was looking across the table like I was a sandwich once again. Okay? So I said, okay, I'm going to let the night go. The night was okay. I'm not going to lie. But immediately after that, he started the very next day. Hey, I thought you was going to give me a call. What happened? I said, I'm just waking up. And then it started after that. I said, you know what? Enough is enough. That's it.
All this was Valentine's Day this year?
This was 2012.
Oh, my goodness. A year ago? Mm-hmm. Why are you suing now? Why are you suing on a Victoria's Secret bill now that came in a year ago, that you knew about a year ago?
No, I didn't know about it. I saw it on the report, on the credit card report, and I asked her, are you going to pay this bill? I asked her several times, are you going to pay this bill?
Oh, so you just learned about it, is what you're saying?
I had nothing to do with this Victoria's Secret
And what would
bill.
she say when you asked her?
She said, I'm going to take care of it.
Do you have any proof of that? Do you have any texts, any phone messages, anything that you could prove that with?
No, what I have is where Victoria's Secret cards went to her address.
I know. She says that you're the guy who sent it, that she had nothing to do with it. I know. And how are you going to prove what you're saying? When does he first ask you to pay this bill?
He first asked me to pay this bill, after the Valentine's Day of 2012. I left him alone completely, stopped taking his calls. So he went to the next step. The next step, he started typing up letters, which I have here, and he started going to the post office, having them sent to me certified. And this is one of the pictures that was in the letter.
Yeah. Okay. This is to inform you of a pending case against you the next month concerning credit card fraud on 2 cards. Come to my attention about these issues. Fact 1, Victoria's Secret in the amount of $481. Secondly, a ring from K Jewelers in the amount of $1340. We have evidence of voicemail message video surveillance of you and your partner of Friday, May 12th at 5:05 hours. You stated on voicemail you would pay back the money on the alleged ring. Do you have that voicemail?
No, I lost it.
Thirdly, there is another credit card theft, skimming $4,678 at BMD Car Repair. That's a car repair that you willingly paid for, that you changed your mind about too?
He didn't pay for it. He paid the deductible, which was $100. When he sent me that, I called the auto place where I got my car from it, and they said, that's ludicrous. They said, no, only thing we have is $100 deductibles that he paid, because my car was insured.
So your insurance paid it. Did her insurance pay it, or did you pay $4,000?
I paid
Deductibles,
twice.
$100.
Did you pay $4,678?
No.
Why are you saying
No,
that in a
ma'am.
letter? In addition to that, there is a possible audio and videotape concerning the events. This transaction, among others, I hope he is worth it. Who'd you see her stepping out with at 5 in the morning?
Oh, it was a guy.
What were you doing loitering around? Maybe you are a stalker.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Should she have accepted all this stuff if she really wasn't into it?
Yeah, why not? She was there. He was there. She didn't rob him. It's a fair exchange.
Wow. What do you think?
I think the same. If she didn't ask and he offered, why not?
You just take it.
Take it.
Whoa.
No, from a moral perspective, if she knows he wants something, she shouldn't lead him on.
I am a little shocked, I gotta say. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
What were you doing in the bushes at 5 in the morning? Dude, move it along, man.
Yeah,
You know, it's not healthy.
understand.
You know, we all deserve to have somebody who likes us for who we are and who doesn't make us crazy. And frankly, he's sounding a little crazy. All right? Is there any other conflict that you had with him? You have a counterclaim against him?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
He broke out my car windows.
Oh, well, okay. Tell me about your counterclaim.
This is September the 7th. I came out to my driveway, and then my 2 grandsons, I was taking them to school, and they came back running. I said, what's the matter? And they said, Mom, your car windows broke out. So I went around to the driveway, windows all busted. I have no enemies. I go get along with everybody. First person I thought, Mike.
What evidence do you have that he did it?
I just have no evidence. I just have
Okay.
my windows.
Well, if you have no evidence, you have no judgment in your favor.
Right.
Right? Okay. Did you do it?
No.
Okay, well, how'd that go? All right, so on your counterclaim 0, and on his claim against you also 0. You all need to just go your separate ways.
I have.
Okay, but listen, if he calls you, don't answer. You know, stop giving him a little hope. That's kind of cruel.
No,
okay,
I haven't
good luck,
spoken to
everybody.
him. Thank you. Okay.
Well, here he comes. The judge gave you some advice. Step in right next to me here. First of all, what's your feeling on this case? There are zeros on both sides, and it's time to go your separate way.
I'm just glad the situation is over.
Why are you so glad? It seems like you were the one really trying to keep it going.
I wasn't trying to keep it going, but I was telling the facts about what actually happened.
What about your feelings for her? I mean, you've been, pursuing her for a while, right?
Yeah,
All right, and so now?
it's over. I understand.
You sure?
Yep.
All right, that's going to take a real decision and a real change of direction on
Oh,
your
yeah,
part.
I got
You
it.
prepared for that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you're going your separate ways then. Okay, head around the corner there, and there he goes, his separate way. And so the defendant's out here with whatever that is. What's your feeling on the outcome here?
I'm glad, and hopefully it's over.
Yeah?
Yes.
You're clinging to that thing like he just gave it to you.
Yes.
I mean, because you say one thing, and I don't know, you look a different way, and then you answer his phone call, you string him along, you give him a little hope.
I didn't string him along. I felt a little sorry for him. He needed a friend.
Mm-hmm. What are you laughing at? Nothing?
No.
Harvey?
At a point when you break up with something, you got to just cut your losses and move on. I mean, you square up, but it's not like you need to get a pound of flesh. Trust me, if you do that, you will sleep better. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is the plaintiff, Rick. He says he was hired to regrade and repave the defendant's driveway, and the woman stopped payment on the checks she gave him. It seems there were some puddling problems when it rained. He told her he could fix it, and that's when she told him, don't bother, because she was still not going to make good on the checks. He put a mechanic's lien on the woman's house, and now they have one big fat mess on their hands. He's suing for $4,620, the amount he's owed for the work he completed. This is the defendant, Beth Bird. She says her driveway becomes one big, very large puddle after it rains, and that's because the plaintiff doesn't know what he's doing. She has to have all his work ripped out, and it has to be done properly so it drains correctly. She tried to get the plaintiff to fix the problem. He told her no matter what he did, she would still not be happy. So here they are. She's accused of paving her way into a lawsuit. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,185, the cost to fix her driveway correctly.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff was hired to regrade and repave the defendant's driveway and says she stiffed him. But the defendant says the driveway now doesn't drain, so pound sand. It's the case of, you made a puddle in my driveway.
Okay. Rick, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You are suing on behalf of your paving company, Ms. Beth Bird, for $4,620, $4,600 of it that she wrote you checks for grading and repaving her driveway, and $20 on a return check fee because she stopped payment on it. You have a counterclaim against him for $1,185 because according to you, you had to repay somebody else to tear all that out and put in a new driveway. What is going on?
Okay, in July of 2012, I was hired to regrade and pave her driveway.
And was it a circular driveway?
No, I have a picture of what it was.
Can I see it?
We widened this because it was all
Okay, I'll let her point
grassy.
it out. She has it.
Okay, so it's a straight-in driveway, and then one of the things you did was you widened it on which side, the left or the right?
On the fence side, about 12 feet by 60.
Okay.
And that was full of tree stumps and all types of debris. So when we finished the job, we were given a retainer when we went on the job. A few days later, the job was completed. She gave me another $1,200 check. And then she called and said that there was some puddles on the driveway, and she stopped payment on the checks. It was actually a text message.
Can I see the text?
Sure.
What happened while he's looking for that?
Rick came on July 18th and quoted the job for $4,600.
How did you find him?
On the internet.
Okay.
And when he showed up to quote the job, the tree workers were there removing the trees from where he was going to widen the driveway.
Okay.
He talked to them personally, and he said, please bring the trees down to just below surface, and I'll dig them out as I'm digging out the driveway with heavy equipment.
Okay.
That was done. The tree guys did their work. On the 20th of July, he was coming. He said he was coming. It was raining. So I questioned. I thought this wasn't a good idea. And he said, it'll be fine. If we have to let it sit, we'll let it sit. And that evening, after they did tear out the driveway and they did all the prep work, so that was on a Monday, he called me that evening and said he would need some more money because he didn't realize he was going to have to throw away tree stumps. So I said, but I had a quote, and you met with the tree guys.
Okay, did you sign a contract with him?
Absolutely.
Yeah, can I see the written contract? Did you find the text?
I'm trying.
Okay. So he puts in the driveway, and when do you first notice that there's a problem?
I had given him the $2,300 retainer. Wednesday, he comes back and asphalts the driveway. Before he showed up, I called him on his cell phone, and I said, it doesn't seem graded right to me.
It doesn't seem what?
It doesn't seem graded right to me. I don't think it's going to drain. And
How could you tell?
Because there was no slant to the driveway at all, and the area where the trees were pulled out was very soft. So I said, it's not my business, but it doesn't feel right to me. And he says, it's tight, don't worry about it, this is what we're doing it. So I said, okay. I said, thank you very much.
And then what happened?
Came, put the asphalt down, and they did the hose test. Complete.
What's a hose test?
Hose test is when they ask you for your home hose, and then he fills the driveway up, and they test it.
He wets the driveway to see how it drains.
Absolutely.
With the
and
hose.
he did that on his own with his workers. I was in the house. My kids were in the house, but we were watching. So we
From
watched.
inside the house? You're like,
oh yeah.
Okay. Because you were already having a bad feeling.
I did. That's why I called him that morning.
Right.
And the driveway filled up, wasn't moving. I watched him take a big broom, sweep out the puddle, and then he knocked on my front door and said, "You're all set. I'll take my other $2,300.
And you gave it to him?
Absolutely not. I said, well, it looked like it was holding some water. And he said, no, you're good. It's just a little bird bath.
What does that mean?
He felt that it was something the birds would enjoy. I don't know.
Okay.
It just wasn't big enough for him to be worried about it. I was worried about it.
How big was it?
I have pictures that are what it looked like the first week, and then it started sinking. So we have videos of what it looked like 3 weeks later. Those are pictures.
You have videos?
Yes, we have videos of 3 weeks after the install.
How are you going to show them to me?
Yeah.
Did we know that you had videos? There we go. Yeah, that's for pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, what happened here? Really bad rain. What is this?
Well, that's what it looked like 3 weeks later.
Is that you?
Walking?
Yeah.
Yes, that's me.
You're like ankle deep in water.
Exactly.
Because what happened?
Because the driveway was sinking.
Sunk?
Right where the trees were. Now, yeah, there's another video. There's 3 videos.
Apparently, at the beginning, it didn't look like that. It actually sunk in the areas where there used to be tree trunks.
Right.
It's wild.
Now, yeah, there's another video. There's 3 videos.
What is she doing? Skipping rocks?
Yes.
Why is she skipping rocks?
She got 3 skips out of it.
Oh, to show how deep it is?
We were trying to show depth.
Your ankle also shows how deep it is.
Good point.
Okay. Okay. Will you take this to him and let him see that? Because, I don't know that he can see it from the angle. Did you see that?
Yep.
It's pretty bad, right?
Well, we could have repaired it, but we were never.
How are you going to repair it, though?
You had to lower the end of the driveway to let that drain. It could have easily been done.
So when he's standing there saying, "You're all fine, it's a bird bath," what's the next thing that happens? Did you find the text or no?
No.
Okay.
So he explained that he would like to cut perhaps a section of the driveway out. And I said, well, what will that look like? And what if it doesn't work? And I said, you know what, let me go inside. I am going to Google it and see what happens. I said, don't do anything, I'll be right back. I went in the house, and when we came back outside, they had a big pipe, rusty pipe, in the brand new asphalt, and they were pounding it and heating it with a torch and trying to create a channel to get the water to run out. So I came out and said, first of all, I asked you not to do anything while I checked it out, and now you got this rusty pipe in the brand new asphalt. I said, you guys got to go.
Okay. And what did you figure out?
Well, he said, you can't, you got to give me something. He said, you got to give me enough for materials. Just give me another $1,200. You have to give me more money. And it just got so uncomfortable. He was in my house now. I said, you know what? I wrote him
You wrote a check for $1,200 with the full intent of canceling it.
Right. So
you've given him a check for $23 and then a check for $12.
Correct.
He walks out the door and you stop payment on the $12. Right. And then you find out he hasn't cashed the $23. Unlike every other contractor who knows to walk from the customer's house straight to the bank to deposit stuff, why didn't you walk straight to the bank and deposit the check?
Well, I didn't.
All right, trusting guy. All right, so what else did you want to show me?
Well, after we did the job, she faxed me, which I don't have, texted me and said that she was stopping payment on the checks. So I went to her house and I told her that we could infrared the end of the driveway, heat it up and lower it and make the water run. And she says, okay, I'm going to have to get back to you. So after a week, I called her and she says she decided that she was going to take another avenue. And I says, well, where does that leave us? Well, you're not going to get paid. So
out of curiosity, why wouldn't you just at least give him a chance to try the method he was talking about to see if it works?
I actually did. I said to him, tell me what you would do. The infrared, I don't even know, that was never explained to me. None of those details were ever explained to me. But I said, do I understand that fixing it means I have pieces of my driveway out? And he said, first we'll start here, we're going to cut this out. And then we're going to regrade it and patch it. We may have to do that in 3 or 4 spots. And I said, so now I have seams. I paid for a one-piece driveway is what I was
And what did he say
for.
when you said, so now I have seams?
That's what I can offer you for a fix. I said, what if that doesn't work? Then you'll replace it? I felt like if I'm going to have a driveway with 4 patches in it, big square patches with seams that can heave.
Watch this. Did you tell her that the patches would be visible?
No.
Right. Can you see the patches, or would it be seamless?
It would be pretty much seamless.
Well, pretty much seamless.
I asked him that. That's not what he said.
Yeah, he didn't say seamless. I noticed that.
And then the one-piece driveway is compromised. It's not what I was not what I contracted.
So how do you protect yourself when you hire somebody online to know what they're like?
Yeah, you can check references if they've done any prior work.
Where do you check the reference?
You can't really check. You can't really trust the things that you find on Craigslist or anything like that on the internet, because those people might not even be reputable.
So there's no way you can check online? I mean, who knows this?
I'll check credibility. I mean, you know.
How do you know credibility? You haven't met.
See if he's done any other projects before. Like if he has some pictures or photographs of some of the other work.
I'll give you a picture of another contractor's. That's a problem going inside the courtroom.
Did you end up hiring somebody to come in, rip it all out, and start over?
I did.
And that person cost you another $1,185?
Right. But I also offered at that point, Rick said, we want to come get the materials if you're going to use. And I said, okay. I had a letter sent to them saying.
By your lawyer?
Yes, saying that if you would like to come pick the materials up, please do so. And if I save money because you've torn up that driveway, I'll give it to you.
Right. And what happened?
We didn't hear anything for 3 weeks.
Did you go pick up the materials?
No, here's the letter. We wrote a letter to them.
Why wouldn't you just call them and say, I'm picking it up Tuesday?
Because I wanted to have everything documented.
Okay, let me see the letter you sent and proof of the mailing. And let me see the letter the lawyer sent you also, please. The letter that you write to them saying, we are willing to make the repairs. That is not acceptable. We'd like to take back our material, which she has not paid for. Isn't done until September 10th. When did you get the job done?
It was done September 10th. Right.
And you have a counterclaim against him for the $1,185 that it cost you to rip it out and do it. Do you have something from your contractor?
Yeah.
In the contract that you have with her, does it say anything about we reserve the right to cure defects or anything like that?
It says that we guarantee the work for.
Guarantee the work, I know.
Right. So, I mean, she had nothing to lose by letting us.
No, I have to tell you, I would have let you back on, and then I would have said that's not acceptable, and then we would have moved on, probably been in the same place. But
we'll never know that because we weren't given that opportunity.
Well, but I think that part of her decision-making process were 2 things that you said. It'll look almost seamless, which isn't good enough for somebody who just paid you for a brand new piece. And, well, if that doesn't work, will you then start over, to which you said no to her? As she starts to feel like she's the one who's got to worry about her own problem. Here's the thing. There is a law that requires you to give somebody a chance to cure a good, not a service. A good is, I buy a car from you. The car is non-conforming. You got to give me a chance to replace it with a car that works. I buy a sofa from you. The sofa has a problem. You got to give me a chance to replace it. But the law doesn't require that she lets you go back there and fix it in the many ways that you are proposing to fix it, particularly when there's that extent of a problem. That video is very devastating. So on your lawsuit against her, 0. And on her lawsuit against you for the $1,185 that it cost her to get the problem fixed, I'm ruling in her favor. Verdict for the defendant.
The defendant has won on the countersuit. Come on in here. This is the plaintiff coming out with what comment after all this?
Well, I don't think it was right, but there's not much I could do about it.
That work, not your best work?
That's not, I don't think that's the problem. She didn't prove there was any problem, structural problem with the driveway that could not be repaired.
You think she should have given you a chance to come in there and remedy it?
Oh, absolutely. Right, yes, we do. I should have had an opportunity to repair it.
All right, you just follow Officer McIntosh this way. So come on in here. You do win on your countersuit here, right over here next to me. And what's your reaction to the outcome here of this?
I'm pleased. I felt I didn't get what I paid for. And when you get something installed in the middle of July and you don't replace until early September,
why not give the guy a chance to come in and fix it?
You know what?
Reasonable.
I thought I was very reasonable. I asked for the proposal in writing. I never got. It was never explained to me what it would actually look like. And he couldn't guarantee anything.
Come on, a heated pipe laying on the side of your driveway. It's a great remedy.
It was pretty.
Harvey?
Here's the irony here. The defendant won, and it cost the plaintiff more than the job itself, which is the price you pay when you screw up a job. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families. And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
This is the plaintiff, Michael Abagyan. He says his tenant, the defendant, put a mattress on the street for garbage collection, and the great city of New York issued him tickets. Turns out you must place the mattress in a bag because people are all freaked out about the spread of bed bugs. Since the defendant never told him about the tickets, the amount ballooned 3 times. He's on the hook for $402.96, and that's exactly what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Luz Morales. She says she was never told by her landlord she needed to place a cover around the mattress before she threw it out. Besides, the ticket the plaintiff's suing her for is not for her mattress. It's for the mattress the downstairs neighbor threw out 7 months ago, and the guy's trying to pin it on her. She's accused of being lazy about a bed.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant put a mattress in the street. The city gave him a ticket, but the defendant says the plaintiff never said she needed to put a cover around to the mattress to prevent bed bugs from escaping. It's the case of don't let the bed bugs or the city bite.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Michael Abagyan.
Yes.
You are suing your tenant, Luz Morales, for $402.96 for 2 tickets plus the finance charges and penalties on them for 2 mattresses that you say she threw out illegally, and you got fined by the city as the owner of the house. Tell me what happened.
Somewhere in September 2012, 1 mattress was disposed, and we got ticket for $100, which I didn't know.
How did you find out about it?
I found that only later, months ago, when I went to Department of Environmental Protection.
But why did you go to the Department of Environmental Protection? Something clued you in.
Yes,
what was it?
Yes. When second event happened, when second time mattress was put on the street, neighbors called me, warning that, Michael, you will get ticket. So I called to tenant, told her that this is illegal. You can't put mattress without plastic because of bed bugs.
Bed bugs, right.
And just in case, I went to Department of Environmental Protection to see if there's any ticket. And I found that 6 months ago, in September 2012, was ticket. You see, first time when this happened, she got ticket, but never told me that she got ticket. I found that in a...
You find that out later when you go, okay. And so you find out that same day she'd already gotten a ticket, and now you talk to me. When are the tickets coming to you, and why don't you learn?
When I put the mattress outside, he called me the same day to let me know that I cannot put the mattress out there. It was too late. The mattress was already out in the morning. I didn't know that I had to put a plastic on it until he told me in the afternoon the same day.
Okay.
He did not tell me nothing about no ticket. I didn't see no tickets in the gate.
Have you ever seen a ticket?
Huh?
Have you ever seen a ticket?
I haven't seen
How many mattresses have you thrown out?
I had threw out, it was 2 of them.
Did you put the box spring and the mattress outside together on one day?
Yeah,
or did you put them outside 4 months apart?
No.
There's 2 tickets in this case.
The other ticket is not mine.
Whose is the other ticket?
I don't know. It had to be the tenant from downstairs.
Is there a tenant downstairs? Yes or no? That's a very easy answer. I know that you're zoned a single-family home, and there's not supposed to be a tenant downstairs.
Right.
But is there a tenant downstairs?
No.
Are you lying to me because you don't want to get in trouble?
So who pays the ticket, the landlord or the tenant?
The landlord.
Why?
Because he should have stipulated all those regulations before.
You buying that?
The tenant. Because the tenant, if somebody tell you to go jump off a bridge, you have an option either go jump or don't jump.
What if he doesn't say anything? Silence. We'll talk about it. Going inside the courtroom.
It was tenant downstairs before this event happened. So by September 2012 was no tenant. She was alone.
Except for that the first ticket was when? In September?
September, right, 2012.
Okay. Was there a tenant there in September?
The tenant moved out in September. There was 2 tenants there. When New York City inspection came, and he told me not to open the door for them, and I said, why? And he didn't answer why. He said, do not open the door for them.
Because he's own single family. Because, you know, when people move is when they toss a mattress. Why were you getting rid of all your mattresses? You were updating everybody?
No, what happened was there was a leak from upstairs. So the water damaged the mattress. So I came and I put it up.
So what's your defense, though, to throwing a big thing of a big mattress outside and not having it in plastic?
It had the plastic.
What?
It had the regular plastic that the mattress came with from the store.
So you threw out a mattress that had a hermetically sealed plastic on it?
Yeah.
Okay, you're both liars. Okay, because that's not true. You threw out an old mattress, not a brand new mattress. And when you threw out the old mattress, you have said to me 500 times, he never told me it had to be in plastic. In your answer, you say, I threw out an old mattress of mine in the morning. It was picked up by sanitation that afternoon. About 4 o'clock, he told me I was supposed to have put a cover. I had no idea that was, if he had told me, I would have put a plastic. So I don't know what you're saying, but I don't want to hear it anymore, so I'm just done. Show me the 2 tickets, the September and the March. Show me both of them, please. What proof do you have that she's the one who left the mattress out in September?
You see, was leak in a house, and mattress was damaged.
Well, it's also, September's also when your other tenants were moving. So how do I know it's not them when they're moving? It would also make sense.
Tenant moved a long time ago. Before, it was somewhere in the spring when the tenant moved out.
Do you have any proof of that?
I don't have proof of that, but I have proof that this is a mattress which was damaged during the leak.
Right, but the leak part, you threw out the March mattress is from...
I didn't throw no mattress out in September. I stood with the mattress all the way until March because my granddaughter was born and I came to fix up the room and I put the mattress outside. I didn't throw no mattress out in September.
Let me suggest something to you. You should contact whatever government agency this is, Environmental Control Board, and give them a mailing address for you at your own home as opposed to that place. That's the only way you're going to get notice of stuff your tenants are doing. And or speak to your neighbors and make sure they call you right away like they did the second time, because that's helpful too. I think that there is proof because she confesses to the March event. I don't think that there's proof that you don't have proof that it was her in the September event. You can tell me, oh, they were long gone, but I don't know that they were long gone because I believe that you were renting to 2 people in a single family home. I can tell by how cagey you are when you answer me and how cagey she says you were when she says you told her not to open the door to the people. Put your hand down, I'm done hearing from you. So I find that she is responsible for the $100 ticket, but the $300 ticket that got ignored, that I don't think you have proof that she's responsible for. I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $100. Good luck, folks.
And so the plaintiff has collected something, not everything. Here's the defendant. What's your reaction to being blamed for this?
You know, what can I say? I'm not money hungry. It really don't matter to me. You know.
Your story in there kept changing. It was all over the place. You had plastic. You didn't have plastic. How come your story kept changing?
No, what it was, it had the plastic. The only thing, it was broken in some areas.
Well, that's no good.
You know, so.
That's no good. All right. Right down this way. Okay, Head? Come on out here. And you didn't get everything you sued for. Thank you. You got the later ticket, but not the earlier one.
My mistake was I didn't told. Actually, I have evidence that tenant moved before first ticket came.
Judge said you were a little bit cagey.
Cagey, you see, there's so many details you have to remember. So another...
well, when you sue, you got to have the evidence.
I was not expecting that tenant can come up with all these strange stories. It's not something I did, unfortunately.
Harvey?
Okay, here's the deal. You have a duty to know the law. You've heard the expression, ignorance of the law is no excuse. The only exception is if you rely on a professional like a lawyer who gives you advice, then you might have recourse. Otherwise, forget it.